Hi everyone, thank you for joining me here today on our channel. My name is Mike Becreslis and I'm one of the advisors with Green Private Wealth. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button below and don't forget to like the video and turn notifications on for more high quality personal finance tips. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time going over RRSPs, TFSAs, and FHSAs so that we can see which account makes the most sense for you and which one you should be putting your hard-earned money into today. Okay, so we won't spend too much time going over the actual basics of the account. If you do want to know more and want to have a detailed look at that, please feel free to check out our video library here on our channel or head over to greenprivatewealth.com for more. Without further ado, let's get right into it and let's get started with RRSPs. Okay, so the main purpose of this account here, and the name says it all, is, to essentially boost your retirement savings. The perk you get with this account comes at the front end of it, which is different from a TFSA, in the sense that when you put the money into your RRSP, you get a tax deduction up front. Right? So the whole point in this is that you want to put away the money into your RRSP when you're in a higher income tax bracket to get that tax deduction. And it even becomes more attractive the higher your tax bracket. And then ultimately you want to draw that money out down the road when you're in a lower tax bracket and pay less tax on it. So that's it in a nutshell, right? You put the money away in your higher income tax bracket, take it out down the road in a lower income tax bracket. Where we start to see people get in trouble with RRSPs is they take the money out too early. They're still in that high income tax earning bracket and they've taken the money out, and now essentially that withdrawal is added to your income for that year, and essentially you've completely defeated the purpose in shifting the tax bill to a later date by taking it right now. Right? So that's something that, we recommend avoid that at all costs. You definitely want to take the money out down the road in a lower tax bracket, pay less tax. Okay, so as a little caveat to that though, I'll just mention there are exceptions to this where you can take the money out and not face those circumstances, right? So those being the home buyer's plan withdrawal and the lifelong learning program. We won't spend any time getting into those today. That'll be a discussion for another day, but just wanted to bring those up briefly here. So, we'll keep it moving and we'll talk about tax-free savings accounts next. So a tax-free savings account is different from an RRSP in the sense that rather than getting the perk up front like you did with the RRSP, you're getting the perk at the back end of it. All the money that you put into the tax-free savings account, it all grows tax-free. And even when you take the money out of the tax-free savings account, it's also tax-free. This is one of those rare gifts that CRA gave us, and it doesn't come very often, so we definitely recommend people take full advantage of it here. Doesn't get much better than this, taking the money out, paying no tax, right? So this is something that it can be useful for both short-term goals and long-term goals, because with a tax-free savings account, you have total flexibility here. There's no sort of stipulation on when you can take the money out. So you have it there, it's ready when you need it. You can take it out anytime. So, for example, let's say you're buying a new vehicle or taking the family on a trip. You can rest assured knowing that the money in your tax-free savings account is there when you need it, and you're also not going to have a tax bill when you take it out. So, it doesn't get much better than that. So the next account that we'll talk about is a relatively new one here, just introduced in the last couple of years, the FHSA or First Home Savings Account. Now, the First Home Savings Account is really, it's a hybrid essentially between the RRSP and the TFSA. You're really getting the best of the both worlds here. So when you put the money into your First Home Savings Account, you're getting a tax deduction the same way that you do with an RRSP. And the great part about this is when you take the money out to, say, put a down payment on a home, you're getting that out tax-free the same way that you would with a tax-free savings account. So if anyone's ever told us, my primary goal is to buy a home, this is where we get them started. This is where we just say, this is where you want to put your money, get started on this, build up the down payment for the home, and then we can look at the other accounts and topping them up afterward. So it's also great for a lot of our clients. They ask us, we've got kids, we want to help them getting started saving for a home. What can we do? So they give the kids the money, and this is something that, you know, we definitely steer them in this direction and say, start with the first home savings account. This is a great tool for them, and when they're ready to buy a home, they'll definitely thank you for helping them getting started with these accounts younger. Okay, so all in all, as you can see, these three account types, they're quite different. They're taxed differently. And the question when it comes down to looking at which one is appropriate for you, you really want to have a look at two things here. These should be the things that are first and foremost for you. You want to look at, what is the goal for the money, right? So what are you planning on doing with it? Is it a short-term goal like a vacation, a vehicle purchase, or is it a long-term goal like retirement planning, right? And the next thing here is to consider the tax implications of it, right? Taxes are something that you always want to put first and foremost when you do any sort of planning, because, like we like to tell our clients, we like to give CRA as little money as possible. So we're really big on the tax planning side, and that's something we have a conversation with our clients about every time we look at which account is the most appropriate for them. Okay, so all in all, when we look at that though, and we say, is this account more appropriate than this one for you? A lot of the time, we end up using a combination of these accounts, because when people use a combination of these accounts and when they use them properly, when you look at the long-term impact and both the short-term impact as well, it can be very powerful in helping you to achieve these goals, because each one is lined up to help you in a certain way. And if you do use them to the best suited purpose for them, you can really find yourself getting ahead. Okay, so that's all for today's video. We won't spend too much time talking about that, but if you do want to consider or continue the conversation, please feel free to reach out to us through YouTube in the comments section, reach out to us through Facebook, LinkedIn, or greenprivatewealth.com. Thanks for your time, and see you next time.